Are you unknowingly putting your life at risk every single night before bed? Emergency room doctors across America are sounding the alarm about 4 critical bedtime mistakes that are causing preventable deaths in seniors over 65. These aren't complex medical procedures or expensive treatments. They're simple oversights that you can fix tonight. But here's what shocked me most. The deadliest mistake involves something 90% of seniors do wrong with their pillows, and it's causing silent deaths during sleep. Thomas was 67 when he collapsed in his bedroom at 2 a.m., gasping for air and clutching his chest. His wife called 911, and paramedics rushed him to the emergency room, where doctors discovered that simple bedtime oversights had created life-threatening conditions while he slept. The attending physician told Thomas that if he had known these 4 critical actions, the emergency could have been prevented entirely. Action 1. The fatal pillow position error. Your pillow height could kill you tonight, and most seniors have it completely wrong. Johns Hopkins School of Medicine recently published groundbreaking research showing that improper pillow positioning contributes to over 40,000 sudden cardiac events and strokes in seniors each year. Dr. Catherine Mills, a sleep specialist at Johns Hopkins, explains that when your pillow is too high or too low, it creates dangerous pressure on your carotid arteries and restricts proper blood flow to your brain during sleep. This restriction doesn't just cause snoring. It triggers a cascade of cardiovascular stress that can lead to heart attacks, strokes, and sudden cardiac arrest while you're completely unaware. The problem becomes critical after age 65 because our neck muscles weaken and our spinal alignment becomes more sensitive to positioning changes. When you lie down with your head elevated too high, your chin pushes toward your chest, compressing your airway and reducing oxygen flow to your heart and brain. Conversely, when your pillow is too flat, your head tilts backward, stretching your neck muscles and putting excessive strain on your cardiovascular system. Both positions force your heart to work harder during sleep, the very time when it should be resting and recovering from the day's demands. The additional workload on your cardiovascular system during these critical nighttime hours often pushes seniors past their physiological limits, triggering medical emergencies that could have been entirely prevented with proper pillow positioning. The research data is alarming. Seniors who sleep with improper pillow height show a 60% increase in overnight emergency room visits compared to those who maintain proper neck alignment. Dr. Mills's team monitored 5,000 participants aged 65 to 85 over 3 years, using continuous heart rate and oxygen saturation monitors during sleep. The results clearly showed that improper pillow positioning caused dangerous drops in blood oxygen levels and irregular heart rhythms that often preceded serious cardiac events. These episodes frequently occurred between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., when the body's natural circadian rhythms are at their lowest point and cardiovascular stress has the most severe impact. The study also revealed that seniors with multiple pillows or very thick pillows had the highest rates of nocturnal medical emergencies, often requiring immediate hospitalization for conditions that developed silently during sleep. Linda, a 72-year-old retired teacher, experienced chest pains and shortness of breath every morning for months before her daughter insisted she see a doctor. The sleep study revealed that Linda's thick pillow was forcing her neck into an unnatural position, causing her oxygen levels to drop dangerously low throughout the night. Within 1 week of adjusting her pillow height, Linda's morning symptoms disappeared completely and her energy levels improved dramatically. The correct pillow positioning technique is precise and potentially life-saving. Your pillow should support your head so that your neck maintains the same natural curve it has when you're standing upright. Lie on your side and have someone check that your spine forms a straight line from your head to your tailbone. This is the optimal position for cardiovascular health during sleep. If you sleep on your back, your pillow should be thin enough that your chin doesn't push toward your chest, but thick enough that your head doesn't tilt backward. Most seniors need a pillow that's about 4 to 6 inches thick, but the exact height depends on your shoulder width and mattress firmness. Replace old, compressed pillows immediately, as they lose their ability to maintain proper alignment and can create dangerous neck positioning that threatens your life during sleep. Check your pillow height right now. Tonight could be too late to correct this potentially fatal mistake. Action 2. The blood pressure crisis. Prevention check. This 30-second evening ritual prevents 80% of overnight heart attacks in seniors, according to emergency room data. The American Heart Association's latest emergency response statistics reveal that seniors who perform a simple pulse and breathing assessment before lying down significantly reduce their risk of nocturnal cardiac events. Dr. James Rodriguez, a cardiologist at the American Heart Association, explains that many seniors go to bed with elevated heart rates and irregular breathing patterns without realizing it. These warning signs indicate that your cardiovascular system is under stress and not prepared for the demands of sleep, when your heart rate and blood pressure naturally fluctuate in ways that can trigger dangerous events. The critical issue is that seniors often experience what doctors call silent cardiovascular stress, elevated heart rate and blood pressure that doesn't cause obvious symptoms but creates dangerous conditions during sleep. Your heart rate should naturally decrease by 10 to 20 beats per minute when you lie down to sleep, but if you're already experiencing cardiovascular stress, this natural decline may not occur. Instead, your heart continues working at elevated levels throughout the night, increasing the risk of arrhythmias, heart attacks and strokes during the vulnerable early morning hours when most cardiac emergencies occur. This sustained cardiovascular stress during sleep prevents your heart from getting the rest it needs to repair and regenerate, leading to progressive weakening that makes seniors increasingly vulnerable to sudden cardiac events. Emergency room physicians report that over 70% of senior patients who arrive with overnight cardiac events show signs of elevated cardiovascular stress that could have been detected with simple bedtime monitoring. Dr. Rodriguez's research team analyzed data from 12 major hospital emergency departments over 5 years, focusing specifically on cardiac events that occurred between midnight and 6 a.m. in patients over 65. The pattern was consistent across all locations. Patients who experienced overnight cardiac emergencies had significantly higher resting heart rates and more irregular breathing patterns in the hours before the event occurred. The study also found that seniors who ignored early warning signs, like elevated evening heart rates, were 400% more likely to experience life-threatening cardiac events during sleep, compared to those who took immediate action when they detected abnormal readings. Raymond, a 69-year-old mechanic, noticed his heart felt like it was racing some evenings, but dismissed it as normal aging. His wife convinced him to check his pulse before bed one night, and they discovered his heart rate was 110 beats per minute, dangerously high for someone at rest. A quick trip to the emergency room revealed an irregular heartbeat that required immediate attention, potentially preventing a major cardiac event during sleep. The bedtime cardiovascular check takes just 30 seconds, but could save your life. Sit on the edge of your bed and place 2 fingers on your wrist just below your thumb, feeling for your pulse. Count the beats for 15 seconds and multiply by 4. Your resting heart rate should be between 60 and 90 beats per minute for most seniors. If your pulse is over 90 or feels irregular, do not lie down immediately. Instead, sit quietly for 5 minutes, taking slow, deep breaths, then check again. Pay attention to your breathing pattern. It should be steady and comfortable, not labored or shallow. Also check that your pulse rhythm is regular and consistent, not skipping beats or feeling fluttery. If your heart rate remains elevated, your breathing feels difficult, or your pulse rhythm is irregular after the 5-minute rest period, Contact your healthcare provider or emergency services immediately. Your heart is vulnerable right now. Don't gamble with your life by ignoring these critical warning signs. Action 3. The silent choking prevention protocol. Seniors are 300% more likely to choke in their sleep, and most don't realize they're at risk until it's too late. The Mayo Clinic's recent data on nocturnal aspiration reveals that adults over 65 experience significantly higher rates of silent choking episodes during sleep, often leading to pneumonia, respiratory failure, and death. Dr. Susan Chang, a pulmonologist at Mayo Clinic, explains that age-related changes in swallowing reflexes and decreased saliva production create dangerous conditions where seniors can aspirate saliva, mucus, or stomach contents while lying down. These episodes often occur without waking the person, making them particularly deadly because there's no opportunity for self-rescue or calling for help. The physiological changes that increase choking risk begin around age 60 and become more pronounced with each passing year. Your swallowing muscles weaken, your gag reflex becomes less sensitive, and your esophageal sphincter doesn't close as tightly as it once did. When you lie flat, gravity no longer helps keep stomach contents and throat secretions moving in the right direction, and weakened muscles can't compensate effectively. This creates the perfect storm for silent aspiration, where liquids or particles enter your lungs without triggering the coughing response that would normally wake you up and clear your airway. Additionally, many seniors take medications that can further suppress natural protective reflexes, making the risk even more severe. The combination of weakened muscles, reduced reflexes, and medication effects creates a dangerous situation where silent choking can occur repeatedly throughout the night without the senior ever becoming aware of the problem. Mayo Clinic researchers followed 8,000 seniors for 4 years, monitoring overnight incidents that resulted in emergency room visits or deaths. The results were sobering. Aspiration-related emergencies increased by 40% each year after age 65, with the highest risk occurring between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. when natural throat reflexes are at their weakest. Dr. Chang's team found that seniors who experienced these events often had no prior symptoms or awareness of their increased risk. The first sign of a problem was often a middle-of-the-night emergency that required immediate medical intervention to prevent permanent lung damage or death. The study also revealed that seniors who had experienced even one episode of silent aspiration were 500% more likely to develop aspiration pneumonia within 6 months, a condition that proves fatal in over 30% of cases in adults over 70. Evelyn, a 71-year-old grandmother, woke up gasping and coughing violently at 4 a.m., unable to catch her breath and feeling like she was drowning. Emergency responders found fluid in her lungs and discovered that she had been silently aspirating saliva for hours before finally waking up. Her doctor explained that a simple throat-clearing routine before bed could have prevented this terrifying and dangerous episode. The silent choking prevention protocol is simple but absolutely essential for senior safety. Before lying down each night, sit upright on the edge of your bed and deliberately clear your throat several times, coughing gently to remove any mucus or saliva that might be pooling in your throat. Swallow 3 times slowly and purposefully, ensuring your swallowing reflex is working properly and your throat muscles are activated. Take several sips of water to rinse your mouth and throat, but don't drink large amounts that might increase stomach contents. Finally, remain upright for at least 10 minutes after eating or drinking anything to allow gravity to help move contents away from your airway. When you do lie down, sleep with your head elevated at least 30 degrees. Use extra pillows or a wedge to maintain this position throughout the night. Keep tissues and water within reach in case you need to clear your throat during the night, and never ignore persistent coughing or throat clearing, as these may be early warning signs of aspiration risk. Clear your airway now. Every breath during sleep depends on this simple but life-saving routine. Action 4. The emergency accessibility setup. If you can't reach help in 60 seconds from your bed, you're in mortal danger, according to emergency response specialists. Emergency medical services response time studies, specifically focused on senior bedroom incidents, reveal that delays in calling for help are the primary factor determining survival rates for overnight medical emergencies. Dr. Michael Torres, an emergency medicine physician who has studied senior home emergency response patterns, explains that the critical golden hour for medical emergencies actually begins with the first 60 seconds. If you can't immediately access communication and basic emergency supplies from your bed, the delay in getting help often means the difference between survival and death. The stark reality is that most medical emergencies in seniors over 65 occur during nighttime hours, when response times are naturally longer and family members may not be immediately available to help. Emergency responders report that they frequently arrive at homes where seniors experienced heart attacks, strokes, or breathing emergencies, but couldn't reach their phone or alert anyone to their situation. Dr. Torres's research shows that seniors who can contact emergency services within the first minute of symptom onset have survival rates that are 85% higher than those who experience delays in calling for help. Every second counts when your brain or heart is being deprived of oxygen, and the difference between reaching help immediately versus struggling to find a phone can determine whether you survive with full recovery or suffer permanent disability. The most tragic cases involve seniors who survived the initial medical emergency but died because they couldn't access help quickly enough. Emergency responders have found seniors who clearly struggled to reach phones that were in other rooms, or who became unconscious while trying to get to emergency supplies that should have been within arm's reach. Dr. Torres emphasizes that these deaths are entirely preventable with proper preparation. The time to set up your emergency accessibility system is when you're healthy and thinking clearly, not when you're experiencing a medical crisis, and every second matters. His research team documented over 200 cases where seniors died not from their medical condition, but from delays in accessing emergency help that could have saved their lives with proper bedside preparation. Arthur, a 74-year-old veteran, survived a major stroke because he had prepared his bedside area properly after his doctor's advice. When he woke up unable to speak or move his right side, his phone was within reach on his nightstand, and he was able to call 911 immediately. Paramedics arrived within 8 minutes, and Arthur's quick access to help meant he received life-saving treatment that prevented permanent disability. Your emergency accessibility setup must be strategic and comprehensive to be effective when your life depends on it. Place a fully charged phone on your nightstand within easy reach of your dominant hand, and program 911 as a speed dial or emergency contact that you can access even if your vision or fine motor skills are impaired. Keep a flashlight, a whistle, and a glass of water on your bedside table. The flashlight helps emergency responders find you quickly, the whistle can alert neighbors if your phone isn't working, and water prevents dangerous dehydration if you're waiting for help to arrive. Write your full name, address, age, and primary medical conditions on a card and tape it to your phone. If you can't speak clearly during an emergency, first responders will have critical information immediately. Practice reaching these items in the dark so muscle memory will work, even if you're disoriented during a medical emergency. Consider wearing a medical alert device to bed that can automatically call for help if you become unconscious, and make sure family members or neighbors have keys to your home for emergency access. Set up your lifeline tonight. Seconds determine survival, and proper preparation is the difference between life and death. These 4 bedtime actions aren't just recommendations. They're potentially life-saving protocols that emergency room doctors wish every senior knew. The research is clear, the methods are simple, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Your life may literally depend on implementing these strategies starting tonight. Which of these 4 actions surprised you the most? Leave a comment and let me know. Your experience might help save another senior's life. If this information could prevent a tragedy for someone you care about, please share this video immediately. Hit that like button to help this critical safety information reach more seniors who need it, because these simple actions could mean the difference between waking up tomorrow morning and becoming another preventable statistic.